This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today we're going to look into a question that's come up quite a few times in the comments to my videos. Viewers often ask me if new locks are easier to pick than used locks, and that's really a hard question to answer. Oftentimes, the biggest issue here will be lubrication. An old dry lock will usually be very hard to pick, or sometimes even hard to operate with a key. But that's something that can be remedied in just a few moments with a squirt of lube. So let's put it aside for now, and I'll mention the two competing concepts that are at work here. First, excess wear tends to make locks easier to pick, and second, the grit and grime that accumulates in a lock over time tends to make that lock harder to pick. So, is an old lock harder to pick? Unfortunately, the best answer I can give you is that it depends on the lock. And that leads me to the locks that got me thinking about all this. These are two identical Kryptonite New York Fahgettaboudit locks. The first is brand new. In fact, I just took it out of the package a moment ago. And this other lock has seen some hard use in a salty marine environment, which is just about as harsh as it gets when it comes to locks. In fact, when I first received this, it didn't even work with the key. However, after a squirt of lube in the keyway, it began to operate normally. So, today I'm going to pick these one right after the other, and I'll try to explain what I'm feeling and how that relates to the age of the lock. However, I should start by noting that disc detainer locks have a reputation for aging fairly well. That's because there's a lot of room in between the discs for that dirt and grime to accumulate without interfering with the operation. So it may be that age here made absolutely no difference. We're going to start with the new lock, and I'm going to be using this beautiful disc detainer pick that Bosnian Bill and I made. The first thing we're going to do is rotate all of the discs as far clockwise as it will go. And then we'll stick that pick in there, tensioning off of the first disc. Okay, we're tensioning off of one, so let's find number 2. And 2 feels loose, operating smoothly. So does 3, loose. 4 is binding. Okay, I felt a little bit of drag. That was probably the newness of the discs. I'm feeling some of the imperfections in manufacturing. I think this is number 5. I felt a little bit of that as well. 6 is loose. 7, binding, a lot of the same, and nothing on 8. Back to the beginning. Disc 1, click there. Disc 2, and we got this open. So all in all, I don't think the newness really made picking even easier or harder. On the one hand, I didn't feel any grit. That wasn't an issue at all. However, because it is new, probably the edges of the discs are a little bit on the rough side. So it did drag and give me an unnatural, gritty feel to it. Let's get the second lock out. Once again, we will rotate all of these discs as far clockwise as they will go. And then get our disc detainer pick in there, tensioning off of disc 1. So let's find number 2. 2 is binding. Actually very smooth, no issues there. Same on 3. If anything, this thing feels smoother than the new lock. I'm not feeling any grit or any roughness on those discs. Okay, I forget what number I'm on. I think it's 5. Got to click there. Six, click out of 6. Oh, I missed disc 7. Got to click out of 7 and we open this up. Okay, this is really interesting, folks. Wait, we did pick this, but it's not opening. Oh, there we go. Must be a little bit rough in the mechanism other than the core. In fact, if we look inside of there, you can see there's some rust inside of it. Okay, this was interesting because If anything, this feels smoother than the new lock. I didn't feel any of the roughness on the edges of the discs that I felt on the new one, and I also didn't feel any dirt or grime or grit inside of there that you often feel with an older lock. So it seems like we have the exception to the rule here. The older lock was actually easier to pick. However, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a little different for every set of locks. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.